Hi, Sorel. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you, Judex.
Last year we met to talk about Islamic finance in a sort of introductory fashion. This year, obviously, there are a number of developments in the UK, in Europe, and also in the Middle East. Some will say post-global crisis. There are new developments that we would like to introduce, and I would like to obviously hear what are those new developments, and that's the reason why we're meeting.
Thank you very much, Alex. I think the events means that as liquidity dried up in the global market, especially between the interbank market, or what we call bank-to-bank market, which means banks lending and borrowing from one another. This meant that the Middle Eastern financial institutions had to diversify their funding sources and look for funds not in the Western developed world, but actually look for funds in terms of their balance sheet funding into the region of Malaysia and into other countries in emerging markets. For example, the major financial institutions in the United Arab Emirates and the Gulf region have actually developed their MTN, which means medium-term note programs in Malaysia to raise funding. And this has been very beneficial to them to diversify their sources of funding. So in that sense, I think it's been positive. Number two, I think that the financial institutions, especially in the Islamic financial institutions, have taken a very hard look as to how they manage their balance sheet, what kind of assets they are going to be investing going forward. Obviously, they were to some extent caught up with the real estate crisis, but they've actually managed to restructure some of that. And I think they are beginning to take a more pragmatic view of where the opportunities lie. There are countries like Central Asia, where we have Kazakhstan, where Islamic finance is also being developed. And so some of the banks are taking a look at that part of the world. The trade between Turkey having taken a politically leading role between being on the crossroads between the Middle East and Europe, I think that has been a very beneficial effect as well, where there's a lot more trade taking place between Turkish financial institutions and the Middle Eastern financial institutions. So I think overall it has been a healthy and positive development for the bankers and the senior board management to take a look at what are the choices available to them and how to participate in the recovery of the world economy.